What's going on, Phantom Nation? Tonight looks a little different, but we are live. No hype, no rush, no fast moving show. Just me, the camera, and a moment to talk to you directly. Not as a host, not as general manager, not as someone running a program, but as the owner of this organization. With winter weather moving in, snow, ice, roads that change by the hour, I didn't want tonight to feel like something you had to schedule your life around or risk being somewhere just to be part of the conversation. So instead of canceling it, I adjusted it because consistency is part of who we are. Tonight, I'm going to talk in sections. I'll share a piece of where this program is headed. Then I'm going to pause and give space for comments, questions, and conversation before we move forward together. This isn't a broadcast. This is a dialogue. And this isn't just about announcements. It's about identity. It's about culture. It's about what it really means to say, I'm part of Phantom Nation. So wherever you're watching from, your living room, your phone, your kitchen table, or maybe sitting in a car during a break, I appreciate you giving me these next few minutes of your time. Let's start with who we are and what this program is being built to stand for. I'm always asked, why do the Phantoms exist? Let me start at the root of all of this. The Southeast Arkansas Phantoms were never created just to put helmets on heads and numbers on jerseys. There are plenty of teams that can do that. This organization was created to give people something real to be part of. When I look at our players, I don't just see athletes, I see fathers, I see sons, I see men who have had doors closed on them, men who've had to fight for second chances, men who are trying to prove, sometimes to the world, sometimes to themselves, that their story isn't finished. And that matters because football doesn't reveal talent, it reveals character. It shows who shows up when it's cold, who listens when it's hard, who stays when it would be easier to simply just walk away. From day one, I told myself, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it the right way. Not the fastest way, not the loudest way, the right way. That means paperwork. That means scheduling. That means transparency. That means accountability. All the things people don't see when they only look at a final score. Because what we're building here isn't measured in wins and losses alone, it's measured in trust, in consistency, in whether people can look at this program and say, that's something I can stand behind. And that's why Phantom Nation exists. Not for a moment, not for a season, but for something that lasts. I'm going to pause here for a few minutes. If you got a thought, a question, or something this segment stirred in you, drop it in the comments. I'll read through what's coming in and then we'll move forward together. What does the culture really mean here with the Phantoms? Culture is one of those words that gets used a lot in sports. Everybody says they have culture, but culture isn't a slogan. It isn't a social media post. It isn't something you print on a banner and hang on a wall. Culture is what happens when nobody is forcing you to do the right thing. It's what shows up when a player is late to practice. It's what shows up when a coach makes a mistake. It's what shows up when we lose, not when we win. Here at the SCA Phantoms, our culture is built on a few simple ideas: show up, tell the truth, take responsibility, leave things better than you found them. And that applies to everybody, including me. We don't promise people easy. We don't promise people guaranteed. What we promise is honest. If you're performing, you'll play. If you're not, we'll tell you why. If you're struggling, we'll work with you, but we won't carry you. That's not being harsh, that's being respectful. Because when you treat men like men, they rise to the standard you set. And when young kids are in the stands, when the Camden Bulls players are watching, when the Camden Lions are watching, they're not just seeing football, they're seeing how men carry themselves. They're seeing what accountability looks like in real life. And that's the culture we're responsible for protecting. Every time we step on the field, every time we step into this community, and every time we speak as an organization. I'm going to pause here again. Again, if something in this segment stood out to you, whether you're a player, a parent, or someone who just cares about how programs are built, drop it in the comments. I'll take a few minutes to read through what's coming in, and then we'll move into what this season actually looks like on the calendar. The resets and the lessons. This season is a reset for us. And I want to be honest about that. The first two seasons taught me more than any book, any course, any conversation ever could. We learned what systems work, we learned what systems break, and we learned the difference between what people say they'll do and what actually happens when it's time to show up. We learned how much planning matters. We learned how much communication matters. We learned how fast things can fall apart when you assume instead of verify. And instead of ignoring those lessons, we rebuilt around them. That's what this season is about. Not pretending we've arrived, but committing to be better than we were. Because growth doesn't come from success alone, it comes from reflection. And Phantom Zone, this space right here, exists so you can see that process. Not just the highlights, not just the celebrations, but the decisions, the pressure, the moments where leadership actually gets tested, the moments most people never see. And I believe if you understand the process, you'll understand the program. I'm going to pause here for a few minutes again. If you've been part of this journey or you watch the team grow from the outside, I'd love to hear what stood out to you in this part. Drop it in the comments. I'll take a few minutes to read through what's coming in. And when we come back, I'll walk you through what's ahead on the calendar and why timing matters more right now than it ever has. The realist 3214. Thank you, sir. Okay. Thanks for joining in tonight, Mac. Our blue and white game. Let's talk about January 31st, which will be next Saturday. Our blue and white game at Ivory Clark Park. This is one of my favorite days on our calendar because it's not really about wins and losses, it's about connection. This is where families come out, where kids run around the field, where supporters can actually shake hands with the players, and where people get to feel what this organization is like up close, not through a screen, but in real life. And I want to say this clearly: you don't need to know football, you don't need to know the rules, you don't need to know anyone on the roster. Just come, because community doesn't start in a stadium. It starts in moments like this. You'll see how we coach. You'll see how we communicate. You'll see how our players interact with each other when it's not a real game, when there's no scoreboard pressure. And that tells you more about a team than any final score ever will. It tells you who we are when nothing is on the line and why we care so much when everything is. I'm going to pause here again. If you've been to a blue and white game before, or you're thinking about coming out for the first time next Saturday, drop a comment and let me know what you're looking forward to. I'll take a few minutes to read through what's coming in. And when I come back, I'll talk about where we're headed next and why stepping outside our home field matters for this program. I appreciate that, Farley. That really does mean a lot to me. The Jamboree and representation. On February 21st, we'll be in Little Rock for a Jamboree that's sponsored by the Arkansas Boats. And I want you to understand why this matters. This isn't just about lining up against another team. It's about standing in a room with programs from across the region and showing who we are before a single whistle ever blows. It'll show how we travel. It will show how we warm up. It will show how we talk to officials. It will show how we interact with other teams. Those things get noticed. Reputation isn't built in big moments, it's built in small behaviors. And every time we step into an event like this, we're not just representing the Southeast Arkansas Phantoms, we're representing Camden, we're representing El Dorado, we're representing Bastrop, Louisiana, we're representing Monroe, Louisiana, we're representing Magnolia, we're representing Boonville, we're representing our youth programs, we're representing our supporters, we're representing our families. That's weight, and we carry it on purpose. I'm going to pause here again. If you traveled with the team before, or you've watched how organizations carry themselves in public spaces. Drop a thought or a question in the comments. Again, I'll take a few minutes to read through what's coming in. And when I come back, I want to speak directly to anyone who's been considering becoming a part of this program. Hey, how you doing, TJ? Thank you for joining us. I appreciate that, Farley. That's what Coach Pike and myself are trying to do. That's what our culture is built on. We are men of standard. We hold each other accountable. Say that question again, TJ. Thank you, Farley. TJ, ask your question again, please. That kind of confused me. Real talk for interested players. Let me speak directly to anyone who's been thinking about joining this organization. Time is running out. League rosters will be locked soon. And once that happens, the next real opportunity won't be until 2027. I don't say that to scare you. I say it because life rewards decisions, not intentions. If this is something you truly want to be part of, now is the moment to act. But I also want to be clear about something else. This isn't for everybody. This is not a place where you show up when you feel like it. This is not a place where talent excuses behavior. This is not a place where someone else carries your responsibility. We're building something that lasts, and that takes people who understand commitment. If that's you, reach out. If it's not, that's okay. There are a lot of teams around Arkansas. There's only one phantom culture. I'm going to pause here again. If you got a question about the process, our expectations, or what it really means to be part of this program, drop it in the comments. I'll take a few minutes to read through what you're putting. And when I come back, I'll talk about where this season actually comes to life on our home field. Oh, okay, TJ. Some teams they combined Some guys played with other teams. Everybody has their own culture, their own standards. What we do here with the Phantoms is not like what, say, the Bolts or the Backs or the Kings. It's not their culture. It's not their standard. Every team is different. It's give it all you got. Either you're in or out. Thank you for that, Farley. And you're right. This is something they have to make up in their mind that they really want to do. We only practice 1 day a week, and that is Saturdays from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Okay. So that's why we ask for your commitment. We just ask for 1 day a week because that Saturday is the same day that we play our games. So if your Saturdays are not free, then this is not for you. And like I said, that is okay. Let's talk about our home field and our game day vision. This season, Coleman Stadium will be our home. Kickoffs are set for 4 p.m. And I want you to picture what that looks like. Cars are pulling in, kids running ahead of their parents, players walking in with headphones on, locked in, coaches checking clipboards, volunteers setting up tables. That's not just game day, that's community day. We want Coleman Stadium to feel like a place people look forward to being, not just somewhere a game happens. This is where memories get made. This is where young players decide they want to wear a jersey one day. This is where families spend their afternoons together. That's bigger than football. I'm going to take a quick break again. If you've been to Coleman Stadium before, or you're planning to come out this season, let me know in the comments what you're most excited about. And when I come back, I want to talk about something that connects this program to the next generation. And you're right, Farley. It is crunch time. It's not about if you got talent or not. It's if you're committed. That's where the focus is. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you're not committed and dedicated, that's really just wasted talent. right, moving along. Let's talk about the Camden Bulls and the future. Let me talk about something that means a lot to me. The Camden Bulls youth football team. Right now, they're selling tickets to our season opener on March 7th. And every ticket sold goes toward funding their 2027 season. That means cleats, that means pads, that means transportation, that means opportunities. You're not just buying a seat in the stands to a Phantom football game, you're buying a chance for a kid to step onto a field. And for some of those kids, that field becomes confidence, it becomes discipline, it becomes belief. That matters. If you want tickets, reach out to head coach Ron Fruit Askew. Because when you support the Bulls, you're not just supporting youth football, you're supporting the future of this community. I'm going to take a break again. Again, if this part connects with you as a parent, as a coach, as someone who believes in building something bigger than one season, drop a thought in the comments. When I come back, I'll close this out. Let me leave you with this. This is the Phantom Standard. The SCA Phantoms are not built on attention. We're built on time. Time spent training, time spent planning, time spent correcting mistakes, time spent showing up when nobody is watching. We're not chasing moments. We're building memory for players, for families, for this community. If you've been with us from the beginning, thank you. If you're just finding us, welcome. And if you're watching quietly, deciding if this is something you want to be part of, take your time. But know this organization stands for consistency, accountability, and purpose. Stay safe in this weather. Take care of the people around you. And we'll see you soon at Ivory Clark Park in Little Rock and at Coleman Stadium. This isn't a highlight reel. This is Phantom